see my slides?
Yes, we can see them.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so obviously, Prof, yeah, I first of all, I would like to thank for this opportunity and also for arranging this training. I mean, the PhD students who are here, really, you should appreciate Prof because some of us learned these things the hard way or the manual way. Sometimes, obviously, not wishing that I should have started later, but I think it would have been easier for me if these trainings were arranged. For example, some of those resources, how, for example, to access the resources, the idea was to go and hunt for manually to be able to get this knowledge. So I think these trainings are really important, and a person who has passed through this process, I think it can really help you. So I am going to divide my presentation into two. I'll have a very short theoretical background, the referencing, then I go to the illustration. So reference management systems. So first of all, why do we reference? So we first of all reference our work to basically give credit to other people, and therefore to avoid what all of you have heard, to avoid plagiarism. And plagiarism is referred to as basically academic theft. I just want to highlight or to clarify to the people here that paraphrasing your work does not mean that paraphrasing someone's work does not mean that paraphrasing does not mean that it's your idea. The idea of plagiarism is picking an idea which is not yours and not giving credit. So even if you paraphrase what you have read, you still have to basically put a reference. So the idea here is you put references on someone's idea that you have picked from a document. I know a few students believe that when you paraphrase someone's work, then you have not, and you don't reference, you have not plagiarized. So all ideas in your work, you have to note that can never be originally yours. You're always going to build onto some other researchers' work. So therefore, it means that it's a must. You have to actually reference your work. But immediately also, if you over-reference your work, having too many references, it's not a good thing. It shows that you have not synthesized your literature. So always when you're writing, you also have to basically connect and come up with the your original ideas from the work that you are reading, and that is the text in your work that will not be referenced, but the ideas that you have picked from some other authors' work has to be referenced. So already with the number of references, whether there are too many or they are very few, communicates something not good about your work, where either it is plagiarized or you have not synthesized your work. So when you have good references, it shows quite of work. And what do you mean by good references? Obviously, good references, as the previous presenters have really ably presented, have to be current references. And current references, you may sometimes, this one varies depending on the area you're working in. There are some areas that the publication is so fast, things are changing so fast that you find that even just after 2 years, after 2 years, I mean, the work that was published 2 years ago is basically outdated. Then there are some fields where the progression research is so slow that you find that ideas even within 5 even up to 10 years is still current research. So this one obviously with your supervisor and you being the one who knows your research well, and also with continuous reading, you can actually be able to see this. Because when you are searching databases, as they have shown us, you can see the number of papers published already. So One thing also you have to note that in dealing with a particular topic, when you are searching, as they have taught us, you're going to find out that there are some articles that are overcited. Oversighting not being a bad thing, but cited very many times. Those are really fundamental papers, and sometimes even if they are old dates but oversighted, that means they are fundamental. For some reason, all authors refer to them. So that's one. Number two, also there are some papers which there are some authors for particular topics that are so frequent, and they have to appear in your work. So for example, you already have to identify. You have to identify. You have to identify. You always have to identify the authors who are fundamental within your work. And this obviously through interacting with experts in the area, they will tell you, for example, have you read this work? Have you read this person's work? And why this is very important, that when it comes to examination stage, there are some references on particular topics that if you have not basically read their work, it will be the examiners will find it very difficult to believe how good basically your research is. Okay, so you always have to identify those. There could be 5 authors who are so fundamental, who have done a lot of work, who are well respected, well grounded in your topic, and those their articles have to appear in your work. So some of their papers may not be free access. Some of them may also not be accessible directly with the databases they have shared, for example, at Makerere. But you can go ahead, for example, to share with they have told you to share, so that you can get those articles. So there are some articles, I think I remember there are some even articles you'll go ahead to pay for to just make sure that you get them. So these are normally those fundamental ones which may not necessarily be free. So the common referencing techniques, they could be more. We have the American Medical Association referencing technique. We have the American Political Science Association. We have, these are more the one in mainly, but there could be more, as we'll see. I just picked a few. Then we have the American Physical Association, which is the APA. So this one is highlighted in red because according to, I'm hoping that you have the guideline of writing that is published by the Directorate of Research and Graduate Training, Makerere University. I think it's 2011, they are not yet updated. It recommends to use APA. So that's why it's in red there. Then we have the American Sociological Association. We have Harvard Referencing System. Then we have IEEE, and a list continues. In referencing, any reference system could be used. Okay. Though I've said that APA is one which has been recommended. Keyword there, recommended. Though the bad thing to do is to mix reference systems. So if you have chosen you're going to go with APA or go with Harvard, it's always good to stick to basically using that reference system. Just as a generic good practice, but I said, remember, these years can vary. But as a just generic good practice, avoid using references that are older than 10 years. But I know this varies depending on the supervisor and on the research area. Here I've used areas, I've used the yardstick of 10 for research areas that progress very slowly. But you'll find that if your area progresses very fast, maybe your limit may be 5 years. Okay. So except for the fundamental references, as I've mentioned, there are some articles that really are built on by many authors that even if they are more than 10 years, they should be seen within your work. But these should be used sparingly. They shouldn't be appearing very many times. So we'll quickly go to the APA referencing technique just to see the general theoretical way of how it works. Then we'll go and see how the software does it to see whether it's obviously respecting how the theory of APA referencing technique. So the first thing is that when you are referencing, if you have, there are two ways. Either you reference at the end, you can see of the text, or you can start with the reference, as you can see here, or you can also have the reference in the middle of the text. So those are the three main forms where how you can reference your text. So, for example, if you have two authors, and for these two authors, and the example used here is a book. Okay, this is referencing a book. Now you say the book, the section basically, or the idea you have extracted from here reads water is a necessary part of every person's diet and of all the nutrients a body needs to function. So it requires more water each day than any other. It requires more water each day than any other nutrient. So then in brackets, you put Whitney and the ampersand, okay? You don't use the and sign and the wolves. Noting here that you use the last names of the authors with the comma, and then you have 2011. Now, obviously, I mentioned this, but this is what used to be done manually, whereby you have to take care of the ampersand and the also take care of the where the full stop should be and a comma should be. But now with the referencing software, all these things are picked automatically. Though you always have to know them so that you can also cross-check to make sure that the referencing has not been done wrongly. So if you want to start with the same basically as statement, but to start with the reference, so you can have Whitney and the Rolfs in brackets now 2011 states that. So there are some words there states that you can pick from here. The body requires many nutrients to function, but highlight that water is of the greater importance than any other nutrient. So the same idea, but you can see just trying to rewrite it or what other people call paraphrasing. So obviously, with Mendeley, it will help you insert these references, but in terms of the writing, there are some words you use when you either referencing in the middle or referencing at the beginning. You have to basically know how to, in your write-up, to include them. So then if you want to have the same reference, but in the middle, you can have, for example, water is an essential element of anyone's diet. And Whitney and Wolf's now 2011 emphasize, okay, it is more important than any other nutrient. So you can see all these sentences written differently because of the placing of the reference, but basically meaning the same thing. So how this is referenced, how also the software will reference it, as you'll see with the picked examples. You have a Whitney, comma, E, full stop, comma, upper sign Wolves, comma, S with the full stop. Then in brackets, you have 2011. Then you have here the title, Understanding Nutrition. Then you have the edition. You have the publication, the country of publication, and then you have the publisher, as you can basically see there. So it's down here, it's noting what has been captured. So this is how we deal with, or how APA will deal with the two authors shortly, as we'll see in the software. So what about if you have 3, 4, or 5 authors? So if you have 3, 4, 5 authors, how APA works is that it will cite all the authors the first time you use. If this first time you use you cite this article, all the first time all the authors will be included, just like this example. Okay, you have your research can be defined as a systematic method of creating new knowledge or a way to verify existing knowledge. So you have Watson, McKenna, Kauman, and Kiddy. These are 4 authors, and you are picking their last names. Okay, so like Brian, Makabayi, then you are picking Makabayi as the last name. So, 2008. So the next time you reference this same article, you now only cite the first author. That's how APA will work. So the idea still for the same article that was picked is that deciding on a research method demands the researcher consider careful problem of the area of investigation being researched. So then you start with, you have now Watson et al, full stop, comma, 2008. So you pick the first author. Obviously, the idea here, obviously, the first author believed to be the one who has contributed most to that article. So then how the reference list looks, just like as you can see here, the first names with the abbreviation, first letters for the last name with their first names, as you can see here, respectively. Then Apes and KD, the last, then you have ADS, then 2008. Then you have the heading of the article, publication, country, town or city. Then you have the publisher, who is Churchill Livingstone, Tanzania. So this is how you capture if in APA generally, if you have 3, 4, or 5 authors. So the peoples here were identified as editors. That's why you have the ADS inside there. It's just a short form that these are all the editors. What about if you have 6 or 7 authors? So if the article is of 6 or more authors, you cite the last name of the first author followed by et al. At the first instance. So if you find that there are 6 or 7, you don't do like how we have done, we did for the previous slide. You just start immediately by quoting the first author, and et al. For the first time you have used you have referred to the work you have picked from this article. So the reference list, this is now an article, so you can have this is what will appear in the references. You have the names of basically all the authors. Okay, you have to note all the authors here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see why I'm emphasizing that. Then you have the title of the article. Then you have the journal name. Then you have the 66 is the issue, and then 5 is the volume. Then you have the page numbers where this article is picked from the journal. Now, what about if there are 8 or more authors? Again, it differs a bit here slightly. So when there are 8 or more authors, you cite only the first name of the first author followed by et al. This is similar to what you have seen in the previous slide, okay, as you can see here. But the difference now comes in the reference list. So you have to note that the reference list, when there are 8 or more authors, you don't write all their names there. You only write the 6 authors. As you can see now, 1, that is Vising, Brink, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then after, you see you have 3 dots here. Then after you write the last one, so you write this is the 8th. So you put dots, you don't write all the 8. So even the software will do this, okay, that you are going to use. So again, just to have an idea, it's good to have an idea before of the reference. So again, garbage in, garbage out. So you have to check the reference. So I don't want you to take the software that will do everything. You don't have to have any theory about your referencing, how your referencing system you're going to use. You have to know about it, how it operates, the rules, the do's and the don'ts. So yeah, the same thing, the title of the journal name, the issue, volume, and then you have the pages. So what about if you have groups as authors? Sometimes this is where your work is more of you're using reports, okay? And some of these reports, like for example, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Gender, Office of the Prime Minister, like for example, I was doing my research in landslides. I had some reports I would refer to, reports from some of these UN agencies, okay, UNDP and things like that. Okay, so how do you reference this, or how are they referenced? So if you have names or groups of authors, e.g. corporations, associations, government agencies, these ones, normally, you reference them in full, okay? In full each time they appear, okay, in text, okay? Then the names of some groups, for example, will be specified. So the first time you use, for example, Ministry of Health, when you are citing, you write Ministry of Health, Then in closed brackets, you have to basically you have to give the abbreviation. Because remember, the next time now, the subsequent, second and subsequent, you don't again write Minister of Health, Minister of Health. I've seen some people's reports again where they mix up so much. This is that the first time you write it in full, then in square brackets, it should be the abbreviation, comma, the date, then the remainder of the time in the whole of your book or your article, you now use only the abbreviation, as you can see here, MOP 2007. So if it's Office of the Prime Minister, OPM, then square brackets, OPM, then from now on, you start using OPM. So in the reference list, obviously, you have to write the full name, okay, of the article, for example, Ministry of Health. Then you write the heading of the report. Then also having the where it was published, the country, and then when you write author. So here, if the author and the publisher are the same, then the author can be used to indicate the publisher. Okay, so that's what basically happened here. So what about if you have similar information referred to by more than one author? Okay, now you have read 2 articles. This could be 3 articles. This could be 4 articles, and just one line in your work has been picked from 2 or 3 articles. So how this is what it means. How do you reference it? So, for example, if this idea here that resilience, those who are dealing with resilience is seen as the ability to overcome adversary, combat stress, and bounce back from hardship. Now you have one article by Dawson, then you separate using semicolons. That's Dawson, 2006, then full colon, semicolons, then Everton, 2005. Then if you add another one, you have your semicolons again, then you list. Because so sometimes you may have even up to 5 articles just mentioning the same thing. That means the idea that you are writing, you picked it from 5 articles. So when this is done, in the reference list, obviously you have to pick the references for each article. So you can see Dawson is here with his work. Then you have also Everton here also with their work respectively. So if the same author, like same author like me, for example, you publish more than one article in the same area in a year, okay? So that's what you mean by same date. So same date doesn't mean that exactly like today is the 22nd and you published, everything was published today. No, same date is the same year. Okay, that's what you mean by same year. So if you have, there are some publishers who publish very fast, they are frequent serial publishers, but you find that they will release 2 or 3 articles in a year in the same area, and you want to basically reference these in your work. So if work has the same author and the same date, that's the same year, then you just differentiate them by lowercase letters A, B, and C. Okay. So for example, eyes are susceptible to melanoma, even though it is rare. This is by a society, so Cancer Society of New Zealand. So this is 2013A. So this is the first article that came out, okay, by the Cancer Society of New Zealand. So then again, another idea according to Cancer Society of New Zealand, then this is another article that came out later. This could be maybe first was in January, another one comes out maybe in what? In November. So that it comes out in November, same year 2013, will be now written as 2013B. Okay. So you can see these are in the reference list that the first one, its heading was ocular melanoma information sheet. Then the other one is reducing cancer risk. Okay, so these are different, and they were released basically at different dates in a year. What about direct quotes? These are not so frequent in science, but they can be there mostly for those who are using questionnaires. So if you interview someone and a very senior person makes a direct interesting quote, which backs up your findings, and you want to use them in your work. So we have two categories. You have a short quote, which is a quote which is less than 40 words, and then a category what you call long quotes, which are more than 40 words. So however, it should be noted that quotes, okay, quoting directly from a work, okay, speaking of someone's work from someone interview should be done sparingly. Don't have too many. It's not a good practice. So, and this is normally done in order just to emphasize or stress a point in your essay. And this one should always be used when the person, first of all, you are quoting in that field is known and respected. So you don't want to start, for example, quoting Dr. Makabayi when people actually don't even know him. Okay, so in the field you have to quote someone whereby when you mention, I mean, is all known. So those people normally who are well known in a particular field are the ones whose quotes you should use. Okay, that makes sense when you insist on a quote. So quotes have to be sparing. So how do you control them? You tag quotes of people who are very, very famous of doing and producing and groundbreakers. They have broken ground in research in particular fields. Okay, whereby putting them there is actually going to push your work or to give your work more weight. So to indicate a short quote, which is less than 40 words, just enclose, you write this quote and just enclose it with double quotes you can see here. Okay, I'll not read this quote. So you just enclose it with double quotes as you can see here, those quotations. And then you write the last name of the person you are quoting, then 2009, then you have a page. Now for this one, it is a maybe people who do in maybe poetry, literature, whereby these are written quotes, not direct interviews. So if it's someone's direct quote is written, then you obviously have a page, and that's where this is picked from. On the other hand, if you have the longer quotes, yeah, so sorry about that. I think the internet. So if it is a long quote, 40 words and more. So for it, you simply don't put quotations. You write it the way directly. By the way, it's encouraged that for direct quotes, even if there is grammatic error in the quote, you pick it the way it is. Don't modify and write it in your own words. So that's about a quote which you have to note. So then you use double line spacing. You don't put quotes, but use double line spacing. And then obviously you have a reference, as you can see here. And this is, for example, how you can, in the reference list, basically it will appear. And this one is a guide for international nursing students in Australia and New Zealand, published in Sydney, Australia, author Alzavia. So then, lastly, another thing is that again, people, I've seen a few don't reference images that they have picked from somewhere. So even an image, tables, images, photographs that have not been prepared by, have not been primarily prepared by you or taken by you, have to be referenced. Okay, so when you use a figure for education purposes in an essay, report, presentation, module, even if it's not an article, it's always a good practice, okay, to reference that figure. So the two forms of how you basically can reference a figure, you can see here, for example, the last name is Evans, 2000, then you put the page of where this image was picked, or you can include the reference in the figure name. So figure 1, a fine chuha, then in brackets, so you include the reference in the caption of the figure. Or you can just put it below, so you have the caption up here, then below that's when you put this reference. Yeah, so that is the just generic theory. So now I want us to go to the illustration. So I don't know if we have any question at this moment.
I think proceed. Thank you.
Okay. So here. Okay, so are we able to see my screen?
Yes, doctor.
Unfortunately, we've lost Dr. Makabayi. Let's wait for him to come back. Dr. Brian, we had lost you, but you're back.
Can you see the page with discovery? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
you can
doctor,
see.
I can see.
Okay, so for those who have not downloaded the software, we're not going to download, but I'm just going to show you where you go. So you just basically type www.mendly, okay, mendly.com. So it is mendly.com. Let me just put it in the chat. The link where you basically go. So the chat here. Okay. Yeah, so when you go there, there are two things here. Quickly I'll talk about. You need an account, obviously, you see, but before you because you can even download without having an account. Okay. All right. So so for example, when you want to download, you have your download. So when you click on download, okay, so it takes you to this page, which I'm hoping you are seeing. So mainly reference manager for desktop. And so when you click here on download for Windows, okay, so you can click here and immediately it starts downloading. Okay, you can see it's downloading, but I'm going to stop it. I do not want to download. So the current version, the one you download from here gives the most current version. This is 2.110.2. So I'll close this. If you're a Linux user or Mac, here you can download for Mac. You can also download for Linux. Okay, so you have Windows, Mac, and also Linux. So something to know about Mendeley. You can add papers directly from your browser with a few clicks. You can import documents even from your desktop. Actually, you can upload to the cloud. You can also do the desktop, but I'll start first with the desktop. Then you can also access basically your library from anywhere. And that's on Windows, Mac, and also Linux. Okay, so most of the cases, if you have an account, or for example, I've done everything on my computer here. it backs up all my documents on the cloud. So if they steal this laptop, I just basically go on a new computer, install Mendeley, and everything comes back. I get back everything. So I always encourage students, even your versions, you can just use it as a storage a bit of your very important things, your articles, or also your drafts of your thesis, for example. So that if you lose, you get everything. Like you are traveling, some of you maybe also studying out, maybe something happens, you lose your laptop, or it gets spoiled, you just install there and get everything from there. You don't even actually need to move at all with your laptop. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. We have easy referencing also done. Also, you can actually also search from here. So for example, you can search, just save time, I can pick, maybe I want to search on HIV. The previous people are teaching us how to search. So if, for example, your topic has HIV and vaccine, you have to have major words. You have to pick the major key search words from your topic. Everyone has one, two or three, okay? But good practice always to have two. If there are three, then sometimes maybe the topic is not maybe written well. So for example, HIV and vaccine. So I can say HIV plus vaccine, something like that. And I click just search. So even on this page, you can actually do searching already of your documents, okay? You can do searching of your documents even within Mendeley, okay? So here, this is a page 1 of 200. It has picked from 200 pages on this. In the previous classes, I would use Google Scholar. I'll also go to Google Scholar to show you also how you pick from there, because there's something you can learn from there. You can specify also the, you can come here and see the year. You can also down here, basically when you are searching, also click see more, some of the journals. So here it's telling you the journals where it has picked. So when you select, it reduces to that journal. For example, there is a journal for vaccine. So if I remove that and click maybe on journal of immunology, so it goes and picks the articles from the journal of immunology. I can do by author. So it's telling me that these authors, okay, have done a lot of work on HIV. So if I click, for example, David, it will only go and it will pick for me work where Montessori has not necessarily the first author, but he's part of the authors. So you just select, you can select, I want only open access, because some of these are not open access. So when I click on here, it will only pick for me open access, okay, the ones I can download, okay. Then here it shows me how many citations and how many readers, okay. Obviously, a one which is cited more is generally a good article. You can specify, it's telling you, even giving you the details. For example, the one of 2023, the most current are these 438. So when you click there, it can actually pick them for you. So here you can actually, it's showing you there are 44 that are shown so far of this. So when you click, it shows you the most current are here. So you can view the PDF, but this one you need to sign in. So you should have created your account. You can also add, when you click add to library, it straight takes to your Mendeley cloud. So when you click on this, to always just require to first sign in, okay? You require to sign in. So you put in your password and your email, and then it basically uploads. So if I say try another account, and let me sign in. Sign in. Okay. Okay. Oops. My password. Okay, wrong password. Okay. Yeah, so I'm now signed in. So when I'm signed in now, this is for the cloud. I can view in my, after installing, obviously, I can view in my library. So when I click like that, so it has connected to my Mendeley. Okay, I have these things of Mendeley, ground deformation, and things like that. So it connects there, and it adds the paper directly. Or I can just view. You can click here to view the PDF. Because remember, this is open access, then it has just downloaded it here. It has downloaded it. So when I click, the page is, the whole document is basically there. Okay. So that is working in the interface of the website for Mendeley itself. You can also already search from there, but you can also do it. Let me see. Google Scholar. So Google Scholar. So when you go to Google Scholar, okay, so what you want to search for? So again, HIV. I'm looking at HIV and I'm studying issues of vaccine. Issues of the vaccine. Okay. So you can search, okay, and then you basically have them here. So if I may just expand here, okay. So here you have again, so you can specify the recent, the how current of document you want. You can also see how much they are cited, the documents. Then also you can actually also cite. Going to see here how you can cite, because if you click, for example, on this one for citing, it can open for you the site. You can see here the site aspect, but normally, so I want to look here carefully. So normally for Mendeley, you saw where I went here. Normally, if you want to add directly Mendeley to your cloud, which after synchronization will also go to your desktop, you have to use the Mendeley website. But if you pass through Google Scholar, you can see here, we have ReefWorks, we have ReefMan, we have EndNote, and we have bibliotecs. Now, EndNote, if you have EndNote and you click here, it will actually go straight to EndNote. Let's see, someone has a comment. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I'm hoping they are recording. Someone is asking if they're recording. So for there is EndNote, but EndNote is not free, but Makabayi has a license. So you have to go there, they install for you, and then also give you what? Give you a license. Mainly for it is free. You can basically do it by yourself. So you can have two, then you choose the one you want. So, but if you're using Google Scholar, EndNote is plugged in directed for Google Scholar, but there's a way we go around it. So normally, what normally we do, there are two options, okay? You can just download the document directly and import it straight into Mendeley, okay, without doing it using this directly. Or you can go to bibliotecs like that, and then this is when you can't even download the document. You have seen cases, as the previous facilitator mentioned, some of them you can't access because they're not paid for. So, but you need to still reference them in what? In Mendeley. So you can actually also extract the information correctly from the article through this form here, as we will also look at. So so that said, you download some four documents. You either download from here, from Google Scholar, or you can download from here, from your Mendeley. So for let me use Mendeley. I already downloaded one document. The good thing here is that it has specified open access. Why sometimes Google Scholar disturbs is that you may go in, you find it's not open access. So for teaching purposes, it wastes a lot of time. But you can you go in and you find it's actually not open access. But the good thing, when I use the website here, I already know it's open access. You can see here. So whatever, after signing in, when I go to basically view the documents here, then I should be able, let me see, can it download. So, so it is also here, it has downloaded. So it's a bit faster. Those are two. So let me get another one. Safe and immunogenicity. They also get, just get five of them. So let me see. Okay, that one has downloaded directly. Maybe we had 8. So let me get, so those are 3. So let me download another one. View here. Everything, this is HIV and vaccine. Okay. Download PDF. Okay. That's the 4th. So I go back here. Quantitative study of stakeholder and research perspectives of, okay. Click here. Okay, let me see. Someone is saying something. All right, yeah, just confirming we are recording. Let me see this one. How long will it take? It takes a long time. See, trying to access. Okay. Let me get another one, as that one also tries to download. Okay. Yep, that one is fast. Some databases are fast. So this one, International Journal of Molecular Science. Also, it's downloading. Then this one also, all these are open access, so they're not giving me a time. Then I go to the next page. Pick another one. Okay, downloaded. Pick another one. Okay, so, and then download. Okay, then I pick, I think, the last one. View. Okay. Okay. See here. Okay. Now, so I want you to note that, if I may magnify this, is that when I click on the library, we just take it straight, then I can view it in the cloud. But why I'm downloading here, for example, you may have this article manually with you, or you may be in Google Scholar, which doesn't directly link it to Mendeley. So you need to first download the document if it's open access. But also, we are going to see how we deal with if you can't access the document, but for maybe you have read bits of it. There are some whereby they have given you bits of it, and you have gotten your ideology, or you have gotten your idea you want to reference from the bits that you actually have. Do we reference photos taken? Someone's asking, do we reference photos taken author the same way? Sorry to take you back. Okay, I've not understood the question. Taken author. Do we reference photos taken author the same way?
Maybe do we reference photos taken by the author in the same way?
No, if you mean if you have that is your photo, so it's original. So you reference a photo which you are picking from somewhere, for example, a report which was not taken by you. But if you're a researcher and it is your photo, you again, you don't reference. Let me hope, Professor, that's what he was asking. I'm answering the right question.
Yes. He has also clarified here.
Okay, all right, good. So if the photos are taken by you, that is your original work. So you're not plagiarizing anyone, okay? But sometimes people use people's photos, especially from reports, okay? Especially from reports, okay? So if you're
maybe you can clarify, but if your own photo is in another publication, you will need to reference it.
Okay. Yeah, obviously, if the photo is in another publication, sometimes we reference our own work, okay? So there again, you have to show that this was picked from from. Do you know why that's important? Because they are going to run plagiarism of your work, and then to repeat it will start showing that you picked that from some other journal. So which is your journal, which is your work. So yes, Prof, thank you for that. So if it's from, if the photo is picked from any, you have not used it anywhere, it's original from the field and it's yours, then you do not need to reference it. All right, so yeah, so let's see, have a look at our documents. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll just quickly cut them and then create a folder, HIV, HIV vaccines, okay? HIV vaccines, then I paste everything there. Okay, there's one which is open using, because I cut. So yeah, so you have them there. Now, you now launch Mendeley. So when you have installed Mendeley, this is Mendeley desktop. One thing to note that you can have Mendeley in the cloud, then also Mendeley on the desktop. Okay, managing the cloud. So this is Mendeley desktop. Before I even open desktop, if we go to the cloud, let me see here. So here, I think we close all these that are opened. So if I would add this to library, then view in library, so my library is on the cloud, you see the interface. The interface is different. I think we went there. So you can see the interface is actually different. So when I click on it, it shows me the summary here, but I just said view in the cloud. I did download. So I can still download it at this level here. When I am basically in my library, but in the cloud, yeah, I can get the PDF. So you have to note there are two ways, but I want us to look at now the desktop. So if you have installed on the desktop, when you click here Mendeley, it brings you Mendeley up here. So when you open it, so it opens like this, as you can see. Now, when it has opened this way, we have major menus. We have file, we have edit, we have view, we have tool, and then we have help. Now, I'll go to the most important first. Under tool, when you have just installed, there is a Microsoft Word plugin. Because remember, when you're referencing, the software has to be connected to your Microsoft Word. For you, when you go there, I don't know if this will allow me to zoom in now. When you go there, when you have just installed and you go to tools, where we have Microsoft MS Word plugin, yours will be having install. If it's reading install, it means that you have not yet installed a plugin which connects your software to your Microsoft Word. Mine is reading uninstall MS Word plugin because it's already installed. So that's very important, that after you have installed and you open your Microsoft, your Mendeley, sorry, you always go to tool and first install the MS Word plugin. What does it do? It helps you connect your references to the Word document. Okay, hopefully that is clear. So after that is done, always it's good to come down. I have many things here, but you come down here where there's create folder. Okay, where you have create folder, then you create a new folder. Start a clean folder here, create a new folder. I'll just call this folder HIV. It's empty. Okay, so I've clicked and it is here, HIV. So when I click on it, it's empty. So I want to go and add all my documents that I downloaded. So I come here to file, then I go to, can just say add files. Then I go to download. Then I go to my folder, HIV vaccine. Then I copy all of them and I say open. So when I say open, what does it do? It picks all the, it uploads all the articles here, and it tries to read those articles, read the names. Let me see, there's a comment. Okay, unfortunately, I think zooming in is a bit tricky with Mendeley when I'm in Mendeley, but it reads the article. So you first click on like on one, for example. So it's a bit, okay. So so under view, something had disappeared. So under view, there is the show document details. Okay. So when you import, what it does, okay, it tries to go in this article, pick the author names correctly, pick the title, pick the volume, pick the issue, pick the date, pick the DOI, everything correctly. It tries, but sometimes it does mistakes. Why does it do mistakes? Some journals don't do a good job, or their formats are very difficult to read, meant to read. So what you do always, you always have to click and also cross-check the what? Cross-check the details, as you can see on the side. How do you cross-check the details? But when you double click on the PDF like this, it opens it. Inside Mendeley, then you basically also can read the heading here. You check here whether it is true. You look at the authors. When you click here, for example, you see how it has picked, for example, the authors. Now you see here, there is a mistake on how it has picked, for example, the author. It has only picked one author, but these are three authors. Are you seeing? It made a mistake. So now it's giving you a guide here that you put the last name and the first name. So now when it does that, and all these referencing software sometimes do mistakes, okay? So you need to check and correct. So I'll now type this very long word name, say Dikihorasani, then comma, then the first name is Masoud. Then I enter, then I add for the third author. It somehow didn't pick, and this is not a sometimes it may not pick as I've explained. So you need to make sure you also do some editing. So Bolha, Sasani, comma, first name is Azam. Okay. So now when I do that and I go back to here, my library, it has updated. Okay, it has added those names. So you always have to make sure, you check, you click on each and confirm by opening. Okay, and check, you investigate and make sure all of them have been picked properly. Otherwise, so if everything has been checked, then you can say details are correct. When the details are correct, to capture it now. Okay, so you have to check for all of them. All of them have to be checked. Now, everything you do here, also, one thing you have to know, when you upload from the other side in the library, wherever you open, it synchronizes and picks your data. And everything you add here, as I've done, also goes to the cloud. So if my laptop, again, is stolen, everything I've put here also will be retrieved. So you can read from here, maybe it's organized. You can also do the reading from here directly, okay? Now, after you have done this, now we want to start referencing in your text. So you go and open your, let's see, open a new Word document. Okay, let's open a new Word document. So let's open a new Word document. So we have a Word document there. Now I need to have some text. I need to have some text. So let me open some text. just get some text for purposes. We copy some text for this explaining purposes. So, so we have text there. Okay. Okay. So we have so we have some text there, members. So now we are going to assume that okay. So now when you have text there, now you want to start referencing. You come to references. Under the menu, you come to references. You come to references. Now under references, when you install the other component of other tools, I told you, MS Word plugin, it adds this section you are seeing here, which you can see insert citation, and it has a symbol for Mendeley. Okay. So what you do here, you come and click on insert citation. So when you click on insert citation, it brings this icon here. Then you click on go to Mendeley, but you have to first specify where you're going to insert. So let's first let me make this bigger for expansion purposes. So I'm just going to insert one here at the beginning. So insert citation. Okay. Then I go to Mendeley. I click here on go to Mendeley. Now when I go to Mendeley, I want first to pick only one author. So under my folder, just pick this first one. Okay. So when I pick the first one, first wait a bit, insert author, go to Mendeley. So I select the first one. Then here there is the site, these two inverted quotations. So when I click on site, so it has picked, but my cursor had moved. So let me first delete it, because the cursor, I want it to come here. So the cursor is here. I repeat the process, insert citation, go to Mendeley. It is selected. You can even pick another. Okay, let me first pick only one. Then I click on this site here. Then it comes there. Why is it appearing like this? Because under my reference here, where I have style, I am under IEEE. So if I change and I select APA here, 7th edition, see what happens. Okay, APA 7th edition, you can see how it has picked. Now, one thing I have to tell you that now in the 7th edition, they changed the rules a bit, because now here I would have written all the names, all the three names first, then after it goes to et al. In the slides, what was being taught was the 6th edition. So in the 7th edition, there was a modification. So you always have to make sure that also you capture that. So immediately to capture that in the reference list, you just come down at the end. I will go on the next page. Then you can have there. These are my these are the references. So then I click on insert bibliography. I click on insert bibliography. So when I click on insert bibliography, it immediately inserts for me that reference that I've just put as picked from Mendeley. So now onwards, every time I add any reference, it will also automatically do what? Insert. So for example, I'm now going to insert two, just here where I have ones. Let me insert some two. So I go to insert. Here I go to Mendeley, and this time I'll pick this one, control that one, two. So I click cite. So I think let me first change something here. Let me change it is skipping, so let me change so that we're able to see. Okay, so I've just inserted because of the way I copied, some things are shifted. I've shifted, but okay. So this is the one I've just inserted. You can see because I've inserted two separate articles. It has Campman and Tile 2023 separated with the semicolons, then Haynes 2023. Now you see what happens down. It automatically adds them, and APA arranges the references in alphabetical order. So it automatically adds them. So the same thing, if I delete, you see what happens. Let me just delete these ones. So let me delete. So now when you delete, okay, and you come down, it doesn't go away automatically, but what you do, you come to references, okay, then you say refresh. You say refresh. So refresh. You see they go away. So normally I've had cases whereby you have references in the body, you remove them, they remain in the reference list. Others you have removed them from the body, they remain in the reference list. Others are in the reference list, but are not in the body. So now with this software is that it is synced, it's synchronized. You will not have that. I mean, sometimes, the manually you take almost 3 weeks, you're just trying to work on your references. So everything is automated here. Okay. So what you put is there. When you remove, you refresh, everything basically goes away. So let's put them back. Let's say put them back. Those two reference. They are there. So let's say also add more. So you can do whereby we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me first put many. Okay, so we just put all of them basically there. So you can see all of them are captured as referenced in alphabetical order. Okay, just trying to save time. Now there is a one issue when you want to what to reference, for example, in the middle. Sorry, actually this should be at the end. So it should be a full stop here, and it should be away. So if you want to reference normally at the beginning, you find that as for now, the version I have, it doesn't allow to do it in the way we do. So normally what I do, I install it because I've used this reference obviously more than once. So I'll insert this author maybe at the beginning. Let me pick somewhere at the beginning. Where somewhere at the beginning, I'll insert this author, okay, like that. So after inserting the author, I edit it. I can edit it manually, like that. Okay. Then it tells me, do you want to keep the manual edit? I say keep the manual edit. Okay. Then the word remember states that. So now that's the challenge. See with the version I have, that normally when you are putting in the middle, or you are putting at the beginning, my version normally does not capture that. Did someone mention it saying something online? Okay. Now, so that's one of the limitations, but I know with time it will also be resolved. Now, you have had cases whereby your article, you have an article, but your article is in APA and you want to change it to another referencing system. You simply just come in your Word document, you come here and now just select, for example, Harvard referencing system here. Where is the Harvard? I think we have this Harvard here. So when you click Harvard referencing system, everything has changed, but just because the Harvard system, let me see this still. This is called the Harvard system 10th edition. It changes everything, and you see now down it doesn't put an indent on the labeling. But I always want to use to change to IEEE because which looks very different. So IEEE, for it in the text, it uses this 1, 2, 3. This is 1 to 10. That's how it does the referencing, and you look down. Okay. So the idea is that if you have your full document and you want to change from any reference system to another, it's just a click of the button and everything changes. I think there's also another one which is interesting. I think that was for the medics, I think. So let me look American Medical Association. So for it, you see how it refuses in the body. It uses like superscripts. You can see 2,3 up. So it does it differently. So it changes to whatever reference system you want, and for them, that's how they also label their references. Yeah, so members, that was the basic introduction to Mendeley. You can keep learning. Do you have any questions? Any questions?
I think the feeling seems to be that everything was well explained.
Okay. Yeah, so I think, okay, if that is it, so thank you very much. In case any of you is getting difficulties in using Mendeley, you can visit me at my office. I sit in the new building, second floor, room 3024. I'll be happy to help you in anything that refuses from now. So thank you very much, and over to you, Prof.
Yeah, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Brian Makabayi, for that very, very clear explanation. Because, yeah, I can see people are planning to visit you. I hope you have some tea, especially for Nangalama. Yeah, and what I'd like to inform you students is that practice makes perfect. You have to do this, and as Dr. Makabayi has mentioned, if you choose to go the manual route, you could take almost a whole 3 weeks cross-checking, making sure that everything you have cited is referenced, and everything that you have referenced is in the citations. And here we have the tools to make that part of our research bearable. So I'd like to thank you very much. As we have said again and again, our aim is to see that we have at least a review paper by the end of this academic year, which ends at around June, July. And so the tools that we're giving you are really meant to equip you to be able to accomplish this. And going forward, we shall continue mobilizing and getting people to give us different perspectives that will guide us in this research. And these are tools not only for your publication, but also for your research. As we mentioned after the previous presentation, these resources are there, and they're there for you. And our appeal to you is that you will leverage them in your work. Derek, are you still here? Any thoughts, any comments, any parting shots? Derek is our PhD coordinator for SEDAT. I'd like to give him a minute at least to greet you.
Hello, Prof. and team. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And yeah, I think everything has been perfectly explained. Maybe my concentration was not fully on the lecture. I've been traveling. Maybe next time, and for a few members who are not well versed with the software, there is a way references are organized. Like you can create folders and what. I think Dr. Brian will have to explain this either next time or to those that will visit his office. Yeah, but I thank you, Prof, for your school and your school for these lectures so far you've spearheaded, and all of us in the SEDAT and other colleges are benefiting. We really appreciate, and please continue organizing such lectures. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Derek. We shall let you know when we have settled on what we shall do next month. I wish you all the best in your research and enjoy the rest of the week. Have a good evening.